You've probably passed by that old wooden chair, that dusty jar on the shelf, never knowing they could become the most beautiful parts of your home. But what if the charm you're searching for isn't something you buy, but something you already have? Welcome to Arkan Aesthetic Studio. Today, we're diving into real, doable ideas to turn ordinary things into vintage farmhouse warmth. This video is time-stamped. Feel free to jump to what you need. And if you have questions, I read every comment. And hey, maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content is a real story and a real family. This isn't just a video. It's a piece of my heart. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it keeps the dream alive. You're not just helping a creator grow, you're helping hope stay alive. Thanks for being here. Thanks for seeing me. One, affordable vintage farmhouse thrift finds. In a quiet corner of the countryside, time moves a little slower. And tucked within that slowness, there's beauty, simple, weathered, and full of soul. Step into a forgotten room filled with cream-toned pottery, enamel mugs, and shelves of stories. Each jug, each crock, holds more than its shape. It carries memories of morning coffees, shared laughter, and the hum of old radios. These aren't just second-hand items. They are fragments of someone's once-loved kitchen, now waiting for your touch to breathe them back to life. This is the true magic of vintage farmhouse decor. It's not about perfection or pristine finishes. It's about character. About finding a ceramic pitcher with a little chip on its lip and imagining it reborn as a flower vase on your windowsill. About folding time into your living room using forgotten trays, faded dishcloths, or crates turned into storage bins. And when your hands brush the worn edges of a wooden lantern or gently polish a candlestick plucked from a flea market table, you become part of its story. You don't need expensive tools. Just time. Just heart. Lay a table under sunlight. Scatter misfit teacups with floral whispers. Surround them with brass candlesticks and weathered books. Let things sit where they fall, with grace and ease. This kind of styling doesn't chase symmetry. It welcomes it when it happens naturally. You can begin anywhere. Start with a crate. Start with a cup. Let your instincts guide you, not trends. Let light and love tell you where things belong. And remember, when you decorate like this, you're not just arranging objects. You're building atmosphere. You're writing a quiet poem in 3 dimensions. One that says, you are home. So go. Visit the dusty thrift shop down the street. Explore that weekend flea market. Pick what pulls at your soul. These treasures aren't hidden. They're simply waiting for eyes that see differently. Two, DIY vintage farmhouse furniture transformations. Sometimes, beauty doesn't need to be bought. It only needs to be rediscovered, hidden beneath layers of dust, old varnish, and the quiet stories of time. In the golden slant of morning light, a pair of steady hands move across the surface of an old wooden dresser. The sound of sanding fills the air like a soft rhythm. Fine particles of history rise and drift in sunlight, catching on bare arms and cotton rags. The piece is nothing special, at least at first glance. But with each stroke, something beautiful begins to emerge. Possibility. This is where farmhouse charm is born. Not in shopping carts or catalog pages, but in the hours we choose to give something forgotten a new voice. A weekend, a vision, a few tools, and patience. These are the materials that truly matter. And then, after the dust settles, color comes into play. A soft chalk-white finish brushes across the once dark wood. The paint doesn't hide the past, it reveals it. Faint distress marks whisper of years gone by. A new knob here, a gentle curve there. It's not just furniture anymore. It's a small expression of care, quietly standing against the wall, holding stories again. Perhaps you have something like it. A cabinet stored in the garage, a table too scratched to use. Don't pass it by. Let your hands listen to what it could become. Prep the surface. Feel the grain. And paint with intention, not perfection. Because the beauty of vintage farmhouse decor lies not in how flawless it appears, but in how real it feels. It invites warmth without asking for attention. It fills the corners of your home with comfort that can't be bought, only created. Let your home become a gallery of effort. Let every brushstroke matter. And trust that even the most overlooked piece of wood can become your favorite place to put a cup of tea. Three, cozy farmhouse textiles and layering ideas. There's a quiet kind of beauty in textiles that have known hands, sunlight, and stories. A chair, wrapped in a hand-stitched quilt, sits quietly by the window. Each square sewn from a past life, a dress, a curtain, an apron once used in a kitchen filled with the scent of cinnamon and old wood. The morning light spills softly over the worn fabric, tracing shadows on the patchwork like a memory gently reawakened. This isn't just decor, it's warmth made visible. A reminder that comfort often comes not from what's bought, but from what's remembered. In the living room, a sofa doesn't try to impress. It welcomes. Cushions in earthy hues lean into one another like old friends, and a knitted throw drapes casually, as if someone just left the room. The textures aren't polished. They are real, cotton, wool, linen, each with its own subtle story. This kind of styling doesn't follow rules. It follows feeling. You layer not to match, but to make space feel whole. And in the bedroom, where the heart comes to rest, soft linen blankets lie gently rumpled over a rustic bed frame. Nothing is tucked too tight. Pillows rest with ease. The sun touches everything it can reach, and suddenly, the room breathes. This is how you create peace, not by chasing symmetry or pristine finishes, but by letting life show in every wrinkle, every fold. If you're wondering where to start, begin with what you already have. A quilt passed down. A pillow you never quite knew where to place. A second-hand throw found at a flea market. Mix them. Layer them. Let them speak to each other across the room. Because in a farmhouse-inspired home, textiles don't need to shout. They simply need to hold you, softly, every day, without asking for anything in return. Four, rustic reclaimed wood shelf styling tips. There's something deeply grounding about wood that has weathered time. Its surface, scarred by nails, softened by sun, stained by hands, tells you it has lived. And when that wood is repurposed into a shelf, even the simplest item placed upon it gains a quiet kind of reverence. A bundle of dried lavender, a photo long since faded, a pot of clay, these aren't decorations. They are offerings to memory. In farmhouse style, reclaimed shelves do more than hold things. They hold feeling, a sense of slowness, of roots, of texture that cannot be faked. In the kitchen, open shelves stretch below the window. Mismatched mugs whisper stories in blue ink, old cookbooks lean lazily, and mason jars cradle herbs and grains in daylight. You don't need matching sets or designer labels. Just honesty, just light, just placement that feels like home. And on the living room wall, a narrow shelf rests with purpose. Black metal brackets hold its weight like open arms. Books with frayed spines sit beside candles, some half-melted, others waiting. A trailing vine peeks out like it's eavesdropping on a soft-spoken conversation. Every object placed here is a small act of intention. If you're styling your own rustic shelf, don't rush it. Let it grow over time, like a garden. Begin with something meaningful. A jar that once held jam. A ceramic you found in a small town. Let light and shadow decide the rest. And always leave a little space. Empty shelf space isn't a lack, it's an invitation. For more story, for breath, for the eye to rest. Because when you live with shelves like this, you're not just storing things. You're telling your own quiet tale. One where wood is never wasted, and beauty is never loud, but always present. Five, creative farmhouse upcycling decor ideas. In farmhouse decor, beauty often begins with a whisper. Not something bought, but something found, reimagined, gently, into a second life. Take this old ladder, for instance. Once leaned against the side of a barn or perhaps a forgotten corner in someone's shed. Its steps now cradle warmth, blankets in soft knits and worn textures, folded as if they're holding on to the stories they've wrapped. It doesn't scream for attention. It simply rests, doing its job in a different way than before. That's the quiet joy of upcycling. And then, tucked onto a whitewashed wall, a wooden crate finds new purpose. You can still see the age in its corners, the slight warping of the slats, the echo of something once utilitarian. But now, it holds linens rolled like scrolls, a vintage tin that glints softly, and a candle waiting to be lit. It doesn't take much. Just imagination. Just presence. By the window, where morning light pours in gently, sit two old mason jars. Their surfaces bear the marks of use, faint scratches, a smudge here and there. But what they hold now is life. Wildflowers from the garden, loosely gathered, stems still dripping from their rinse. A bit of twine wraps their necks, not perfectly, but that's the point. It feels like home. Upcycling isn't just recycling. It's storytelling with your hands. It's saying, you're not done yet. Whether it's a jar, a crate, or an old chair missing a leg, farmhouse style invites us to see beyond the obvious. To value things that aren't shiny, but sincere. So next time you think about throwing something out, pause. Ask what else it could become. Could a drawer be a shelf? Could a ladder hold more than weight? Could a jar hold joy? Let your home be a reflection of your resourcefulness. Let it be full of surprises. And let it remind you that second chances, just like second uses, are often where the most soulful beauty lives. If this video meant something to you, please know that subscribing means the world to me. You're not just supporting content, you're supporting a dream that keeps my family going. Thank you, truly. I'd also love to hear from you. What did you enjoy the most? Is there anything I could do better to keep inspiring or simply entertaining you? Your feedback helps this channel grow with heart and purpose. Let me know in the comments. I read every one.